The finish isn't up Alpe d'Huez, it's on Alpe d'Huez. The last bit is an ambush. Up the Col de Sarenne, after 150 kilometres of riding over 3 big cols. If you're following standard training packages, you're training for the wrong race. This is the reality. I've been guiding riders on these roads since 2009. I know what this route does to people. The ones who will have a great day and the ones that won't. The difference is almost never talent. It's almost always preparation or the lack of it. So wherever you are in your build-up, where are you actually now? Not your numbers, not your Strava stats, but how are you actually training? Because let's be honest, most of what's written out there is for people half our age. Young legs, no aches and pains, fit as a fiddle. And I'm pretty sure that's not who I am talking to right now. Let me give you the route in plain English. Over 170 kilometres of riding, 5,400 metres of climbing, and 4 major cols. You leave Bordeaux on, and after 10k, you immediately start the Col de la Croix de Fer. 24 kilometres of climbing. Sounds manageable? It isn't. I've watched strong, well-prepared cyclists blow up on this climb and spend the rest of the day just trying to survive. And that's only climb 1. Then after a horrible run along the Maurienne Valley, you hit the Télégraphe and immediately after the Col de Galibier. 17 kilometres of climbing, topping out at 2,642 metres above sea level. The air is thin up there, genuinely thin. I've seen grown men, strong athletes, reduced to near panic when they go over 2,000 metres because of the lack of oxygen. Don't be that person. And then when your legs are empty at around 150 kilometres, you hit the bottom of the Col de Sarenne. The Sarenne is 13 kilometres at approximately 8%. That's not a finishing climb, that's an ambush. And it comes after everything else you have already climbed. I guide this route over 2 or 3 days with clients. You're doing it in 1 day. 8, 9, 10, 11 hours. 1 day. To survive that 1 day, training needs to look different to your standard weekend club ride. It has to start with your distance. Here's what I see every season. Riders rock up and get destroyed on the Col de la Croix de Fer. Not the Galibier, not the Sarenne, the first climb. Because the longest ride they did that year was an 80 kilometre flat club ride. And they thought consistency would carry them through. Your longest ride should already be 170 kilometres long. Not approaching it, actually 170 kilometres long. You need to know how your legs feel at that point. You need to know what 6, 7 or 8 hours feels like on a bike. You need to know what happens when you have done 6 or 7 hours and you still have a mountain to climb. What happens to your body when it's cooked? That doesn't come from stacking up short rides. That comes from one long ride that teaches you about yourself. If you haven't had that day, that's your first objective. Not next month, this week, this weekend. It's a priority. Do you actually know how to climb at altitude? Because climbing at 1,800 metres and above is different. Your body works different. It won't be a fitness problem. It will be a mentality problem. If you can get to the mountains before July, even smaller ones, do it. It's enough to stop the surprise stopping your ride. And back-to-back rides. This is one everybody skips. The Sarenne comes after 150 kilometers, not kilometer 20. Your legs at that point are the legs that will matter, not your legs on a fresh Tuesday morning. If you're riding once at the weekend and resting the following day, you're not doing enough. You genuinely won't know what your body feels like under real fatigue. Ride Saturday, then ride Sunday, even if Sunday is shorter. That is the habit that will save you on the Col de Sarenne. Nutrition, sorted and tested, are two different things. At our age, the gut is less tolerant. I've seen riders DNF because their gut gave out before their legs. You need to know, not roughly, but exactly what you are going to be eating. Figure that out on your training rides, not when you arrive in France for the event. And your bike and your fit, get that sorted now. Not just before you fly out, now. New shoes need breaking in. A bad fit needs fixing. Our bodies don't forgive unresolved problems like they did when we were 35. A niggle on a 70-kilometer ride becomes a showstopper on a 170-kilometer ride in the Alps. One thing that consistently separates a bad ride from a good ride is knowing what you're climbing. Not just the numbers, but the reality. Where the steep ramps are, where the false flats are, when to get into a group, and where you can take a breath. You need to know what the top of the Col de Galibier looks like and how you're going to descend it. And what about the weather? What if the weather's bad on the day? Are you prepared for that? I've got the full maps and GPX files to buy on my website, link in description below, or you can watch one of my 3 videos and ask for them for free. Again, all those videos are in the description below. Check those out. Right, I'm not saying any of this to put you off. The Croix de Fer, the Télégraphe, the Galibier, and finally the Col de Sarenne, on closed roads with 16,000 other cyclists, all suffering, can be one of the best days of your life on a bike. I mean that, but you need to earn it. Wherever you are in the countdown, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what's going well and what's not going quite so well at this moment. Do you have any worries? Again, ask me in the comments below. I'm happy to respond. And listen, this is the first of 3 videos I am doing on the way to the Etape du Tour. This one is the reality check. At 40 days out, I'll do another. What to be doing and what not to be doing. Then my final video will come out 7 days before the event. What to do, what not to do, and how not to throw away all that hard work that you've already done. If these sound interesting to you, subscribe to my channel. And as I said earlier, the 3 other videos that I've already done on the Etape du Tour 2026 can be found in the description below. You know what you need to do. Stop watching YouTube, get out on your bike and start training a bit more. And finally, beards are more aerodynamic, especially at altitude.